Back again for another episode of Empower Online then, guys, and this time I'm joined by Lee Trunks, who we both know through the Bob Breen lineage. We were just talking, and Lee is going for his black belt with Bob imminently. It's within the next few weeks, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah. I think it's 3 weeks away now. So
perfect. How are you feeling about it?
I'm all right. I'm all good. As we were saying before you hit record on this, it's remembering all the specific details. I think this black belt's way overdue. I know I'm at a level, which is great, and that's not me being big-headed. I just, you go and train with other people, you kind of know where you're at. But it's great because I've just literally on Saturday did grading for my guys, and I gave one of my guys a black belt, and I know all the pain he was going through on the lead up to it, making sure everything licked down, and where's that got to be, and what's this technique, and what's that mean? That's always the one. What's that mean on that?
Yeah.
So that's been quite interesting, but it's been really nice to have some focus to the training actually,
Sure.
because it's very easy to just get. There's so much, as you know, the martial arts world is great for that. There's so many different avenues you can pursue, and interests you can pursue for whatever reason, and it's nice just to kind of be like, no, I'm on this. This is where my focus is. I'm not going to be distracted by the BJJ arm locks over here on TikTok. I'm going to be like, no, on the videos, on the training. And then I've got to hook up with some good guys as well, Jeff and Matt Morris, just to kind of get some extra training as well. So it's been lovely, actually. It's been lovely to have that focus and a bit more dedication to my training, because it's very easy as an instructor just to become the instructor, right? And
It is, yeah. You need to give yourself your push, and as you say, go out and seek other people and do your own thing. As you say, sometimes it becomes way too easy just to sit back and your own fitness level decreases, your own skill
the belly
level
grows.
decreases. The belly grows. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You get first and black belt, usually pretty fit. Second degree black belt, okay. Third degree black belt, the belly gets bigger. Fourth degree, it gets a little bit bigger. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth degree, and then it's like, oh, I'm not sure that's the way it should be going. But keep going.
Yeah, and I've got a good handle on that generally, but it's a constant battle, because you want to, you run your own club, you want to give your time to your students, make sure they're getting everything done, and just the sheer act of running that business, I think, which is one of the things that many martial arts instructors underrate, is when they go, I run my own club, right? I love teaching martial arts, it's great on the mats, right?
Yeah.
But to make that pay anything, there's so much in the background that has to be done. Is what do you spend your day doing? Do you spend your day on the mats teaching people, or are you actually sat at your desk crunching emails and marketing and all this kind of stuff? So the hours drift away, don't they? The hours drift away.
How do you navigate that? Because that's something that I struggle with, definitely. And like we've seen, we were just talking again before we hit record about like kind of club sizes and growth and things like that. And you hit a level, don't you? And I think we're kind of hitting that level now where it's a comfortable number, where income is quite nice, but also the people that I know, like they walk in the door and I know them, I know what their strengths are, I know what their weaknesses are, etc. And I know them quite on it, especially the adults, like the 4-year-olds on minis, I have less to do with now and delegate that more. But especially the adults and the juniors, I kind of know where they're at. But as the club gets bigger and bigger and bigger, I think people then start to lose that community feel, that personal touch. So what's your kind of thoughts on navigating that?
It's a really hard balance, isn't it? I think I spoke to Andy Norman once, and he said to me that 300 is kind of like that level where you're big enough to make some money, but you know everyone still. And I think once you start getting up above 300, that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
We're at that stage now, so we're about 330-ish. I think it fluctuates and up and down all the time. But so that's a nice level. I mean, again, there's still students, because I don't do every day. We're open 6 days a week. I've got one of my guys, Kyle. He does. I think he does more classes than I do now. So there's students there that only really know Kyle. They don't really know me. Which has always been my plan to some extent, is to try and become supernumerary and extract myself from the business to need to be there to run it, but actually be in the background and helping it grow. But then to come in and basically just take the cream off the top, right? Train the black belt, the classes I enjoy. And,
did you struggle with that, kind of letting go with it a little bit? Because I know I definitely did to begin with, and kind of delegating, and then I was like, I think I was micromanaging quite a lot, and being like, I wouldn't teach that this way, or I wasn't doing this way, this is my place, blah, blah, blah. But now I've just kind of gone, fuck it, like, and it's the same.
It's really hard, isn't it? It's recognizing that your way isn't necessarily the best way or necessarily the only way, and actually accepting that even though your way might be better, the other way still isn't bad, and actually is good enough. So keeping an eye on standards is really important. I mean, I've let it drift. I run I've got a property business that I'm involved with as well down in
Yeah.
Cornwall, and that's taken quite a lot of my time recently. So the eyes kind of drifted off the ball a little bit. Where I found to get that back actually is just regular meetings. So
Yeah.
every Friday, my core staff meet for an hour, and we just go, right, these are the things I've seen that I want to address. What's the feedback from you guys? A little bit of steer, a little bit of direction regularly. So it's actually little nudges as opposed to like once a month meeting. It's
Hammering
a
it
big,
home, yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, look, this has happened again, guys. Think about this. Here's a little bit of guidance. Here's a bit of my knowledge. Da 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 da. And you see it in the numbers. You see it in the feedback. There's been periods, sort of about 5 years ago, where we were getting a couple of negative reviews coming in about my guys not being able to cope with the troublesome kids that are 3 or 4 or 5 that aren't able to sit still and do what they're doing, right?
Sure.
And then are causing a ruckus. And at that age, like, just the whole class is then disrupted. And
Yeah.
because I had quite young instructors that are more than capable martial artists, because of their age, they haven't developed dad voices or mum voices that kind of
Yeah.
contain these children
Oi!
and stop them on the spot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Exactly. You can say the same words as them, but the tone and life experience comes through your words, right? But I think you see it. I think you see it on the. We get good feedback from the guys, and then you go, okay, well that's a standard that's working.
Yeah.
And I just need to keep. Like I said, just that regular nudging. That's the thing. I'm here, and I think I've seen it before as well. I've heard it from other instructors in other clubs when they do try to become supernumerary. Students notice it, and they kind of think, oh well, he's not interested in us anymore. He's not paying attention in the club. So I try and make sure people see me, whether I'm not on teaching their classes or not. I stick my nose in and hey guys, spend a little bit of time chatting to the parents on the side, and putting out enough video content as well, kind of into our little groups that just like, hey, I'm still here, I'm still paying attention,
sure.
I'm still listening. So I think that really helps, and then trusting your guys, right? Trusting your guys, giving them the time. Don't have a blame culture. Have a real kind of, look, you can make mistakes. It's totally fine. I'd much rather you tell me the mistakes and then we can work through a solution together. Obviously, if you do it 3 times, you're out. But
Yeah.
and
Never
until
darken
then,
my door again, yeah.
yeah. But I think if you have the right attitude to people, give them enough ownership of the tasks, so they can feel a bit of pride in what they're doing, and enough access points to yourself, so they're not on their own, even though they've got that autonomy. I think that really, really helps. So.
Yeah. And where have you learnt this from, kind of experience, or have you got previous coaching background, previous martial arts, or was it kind of learn on the job?
Yeah, learning on the job, really. I mean, what do you mean, from a business perspective, or kind of?
Business side and the coaching side, I suppose, in terms of
Yeah,
coaching
I mean,
others, coaching your students and running, a 300 school or 300
yeah, I
school.
mean, business side. I mean, I used to have a day job, I have a life prior to being the martial arts instructor full time, and I used to run a small program for a local charity, and so that really made me step up and hone my skills. It was a reasonable size organisation that understood one-to-ones, understood career progression, understood staff development and all these
Sure.
kind of things. So learned quite a bit through that. University-wise, did business administration and marketing as my degree. So that was quite broad, but yeah, came in handy. I always wanted to go and do advertising, write really cool adverts in London, and but didn't go that way. And
Okay.
actually, then my skill set it lent itself to running my own business. That was good. As for coaching, I think a lot of martial arts instructors, right? You get to your black belt, and then you're going, "Do you want to help run the class?" You're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you assist and then learn by doing it, as you say.
yeah, but I mean, I've always I'm a bit of a show off, and I love an audience.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, which I think there must be quite a bit of that in the martial arts industry as well, right? I love an audience. I love people laughing at my jokes. So I think I had aspirations to become a primary school teacher at some stage, and then didn't pursue that because of the paperwork involved.
Sure.
Ended up buying a activity camp for kids during the summer holidays and things like that.
Yeah.
So ran that, and that really helped. And then obviously as it got towards my black belt, I asked to help run the club I was with at the time, and just picked that up. So on the mats, learning really, and my instructor was great, really confident, strong instructor, and being around someone who does that, you pick it up quite easily. If you're of that mindset, then you can
Sure.
pick it up quite quickly. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I've been, and like I said, run had my own businesses, private businesses outside of this, still running other businesses outside of this as well. So it really helps to then bring. I sometimes forget to then bring it into my martial arts world, because it's like, historically I've had them as two separate entities. Like, I'm doing martial arts over here and I'm doing business over here, and it's like, and now it's got to the point where actually no, you need to run a decent business, and you need to employ people and help them develop, and look out for them
Sure.
as well as your students. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where did your own journey in the martial arts begin then? How did that start?
Uh, Kind of sporadically and haphazardly as a kid. I think my main motivation was Bruce Lee, and again, along with many people probably of my age, born in the 70s. That was kind of like, oh, he's really cool. I
Yeah.
remember my dad telling me that he jumped over like a 6 foot fence in a movie, and I was like, wow, you can actually do
Whoa.
that. I was like, no, of course, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But and then started off. What did I do first? We did a bit of karate. Me and my brother signed up to some karate. Way too much bowing, loads of bowing
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't mind it so much now, but as a kid, I was like every
No,
2 seconds, we're stopping and bowing, right?
get on with it. Yeah.
But that was an amazing. I can't remember his name now. This guy down in Bridgewater in Somerset, where I'm from, Joe Johnson, I think his name was, and
Yeah.
he was a lithe, very athletic karateka, and he was menacing. He was a menacing guy. I think I got to about an orange, maybe orange belt, or maybe I can't remember now with him.
Yeah.
Lots of bowing now. But what I found was I could kick. I've always had naturally flexible legs. In fact, one of my students last night. He's like me in his mid to late 40s. And he's like, how do you keep your flexibility up? He said, you like doing yoga all the time? I was like, I don't do anything.
I'm just
My
naturally
leg
inclined
just,
that way. Yeah.
yeah, my leg just goes there, right? So
Yeah.
I started karate, and I found my leg just went there, and all these other kids are struggling. And I'm like, oh, I can kick you in the
I
head.
could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. That's the thing I can do. So let's do that. Let's be successful at that. So I
Sure.
started with karate. We did a little bit of judo. Again, all I remember of that was doing lots of forward rolls across the corner of the mat over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over. So we didn't do much of that. And then probably really mostly got into was taekwondo.
Okay.
I did some taekwondo with some friends, and then that spilled into some kickboxing. Whilst I was at college, I used to help out. There used to be like a special needs class before my class, and I used to go and help the instructor do that. And I really loved doing that. It was really good fun. Those guys were
Yeah. Yeah.
funny. We had a lad who was Down syndrome, and he called Miles, and he was an absolute character in the college anyway. And getting him to kick and punch stuff, it was just great. Yeah, he was having a great time. We were having a great time teaching him. It was fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, big stint in kickboxing. Then picked the taekwondo back up when I moved to Cheltenham, and then kind of got my black belt and everything in that. And then I had my appendix out, and I'd got to the point where I was done with taekwondo. My instructor was great. He dabbled with some tai chi and other elements as well, and he was a bit of a boy about town who liked a bit of a scrap. So he's kind of
Right.
he always
Okay.
had
Yeah.
he always had an edge to his training that kind of kept me interested.
Sure.
But I think I did my black belt pre-grading session, and I asked, why do we jump in the air and do a 360 spin?
Mm.
And I was told it's to confuse the enemy.
Mm.
And I said, right, I'm out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out. So I kind of got my black belt, of which I passed,
Yeah.
as did the other 100 people in the room, and I wouldn't have passed more than me and two others.
Okay. Yeah.
But every
Right.
single one passed, and I was kind of like, I'm out of this.
Enough of this now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of been looking around, and I had my appendix out, and it was the time when you could just get Blockbuster video delivered to your home.
Those
And
are
I
the
think it
days.
was, yeah, and I basically just went on and went, and apologies to all these people who produce these DVDs, but I went, right, Mo Teague, Rick Young, Bob Breen, and anything I could get my hands on, just delivered, ripped off, sent back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Delivered, ripped off. I got a stack of DVDs, and I found through that it was I gravitated towards the likes of Rick and Mo and Bob, all the JKD, Danny Nasanto influence, and I was kind of like that seems to have some truth in it for me.
Was
I
it
was
the
kind of
realism that was important for you then? Like that kind of, this is functional, this is meant for self-defense, this isn't the flashy kind of stuff.
Yeah, and bear in mind I've been jumping doing 360 spinning kicks for a period of time, and I was kind of like, and I just getting a young family as well, and I was thinking, if I get attacked by two blokes down a dark alley, is my time well spent jumping in the air with 360 spinning kicks? Probably not.
Mm.
Okay, as much as I'm capable of doing them and enjoy doing them,
Yeah.
and there's a place for them, my kind of focus shifted a little bit really as I realised actually I need to be competent.
Yeah.
I need to have a skill set that I can defend myself and my family. And I think there wasn't a lot of combative stuff at the time that I came across, so I didn't gravitate towards that. Recently, I've kind of done a bit more of that through Phil and Mo.
Yeah.
But it was the JKD stuff. Where it picked me up was because through my Taekwondo instructor and a guy called Willie Lim, who is a Tai Chi instructor over from America, originally New Zealand, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he introduced us what he called the flow drill, which is basically Hubud.
Okay.
So we'd been practicing Hubud for some time, albeit from more of a Tai Chi perspective, lots of collapsing chest and absorption and redirection. And then I came across that through the JKD and was like, oh, we do that.
Yeah,
And then it was
similar.
yeah. But then they started doing lots more of it. And then they started putting knives in. They started putting sticks in. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And my wife, bless her, she's been a good support in all of this. She got hold of Bob Breen and said, "Oh, my husband's a black belt in Taekwondo," and he was kind of like, "That's all right." No offense to the Taekwondo guys, if you didn't watch it, it's like, "Oi, Taekwondo's great," and it is in many respects. Trust me, I love the kicking from it. But she said, "Yeah, he's a Taekwondo black belt, and he's really interested in your stuff. Can he come down to one of your seminars?" So I went to a Bob weekend, and got there, and she said, "I know nothing." And there
What
was a
year
guy
was
called,
this?
oh God. I don't know. I'm terrible at like locations and dates. They have no place in what they
We're
come through.
talking
in.
19s, 2000s, pre or post millennium.
2000. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
probably about good 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
Probably about roughly the same time I met Bob then, about 2015, something like that.
Yeah, something around
Yeah.
that. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, and then there was a guy called Joe Hubbard. I don't know if you know Joe Hubbard.
The name rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. So Joe was there, and he took pity on me, and we started doing some Hubud with a stick. And bless him, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got no idea what I'm doing, and I'm waving the stick around. And it was kind of on the back of that, and I've met Bob then, and I was like, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
This is what I need to be doing. I need to be doing JKD. I need to be learning Kali and all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of really where the focus went, and that's really been my main focus since. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of work with Mo Teague recently with TRDG Group,
Yeah.
which is
So the
a lot
combative
more,
side in there.
yeah, a bit more combatives, although heavily influenced by the JKD,
Yeah.
but less flowery, a lot stripped out from it. Very much what I love with Mo's stuff actually is he's probably the first instructor that's properly said, this is the context that we're operating in. Okay, not here's some techniques, here's some moves. If they do this, you do this. It's like, well, yeah, but who are you? Who are they?
Yeah.
What's their motivation? What's your motivation? What day is it? Like, how well are you? All these things. What's your job? Who's around you? Everything. Just giving context and understanding to that. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay. No one's really ever put that there. And actually understanding what the law of the land is. I mean, what law? Speak to most people. What's the law of the land? And it's
Sure.
Section 3 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, right? And it's like, okay, well, most people teaching this stuff don't know that, and it's
Yeah,
like, well, that's
yeah.
madness. That's total madness. We're teaching people to break things and destroy things, and we're not talking about what's the aftermath, what's
And the
what's
repercussions
third.
of that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Not only legally, but emotionally, physically, all this stuff. And it's like, it's the
Absolutely.
first person to actually sit down and go codify that in some fashion and say, right, this is how it is, and this is what you
Yeah.
can learn, and this is the vocabulary to talk about that to your students, and then you can fully equip them. So consequently, I've got the law written up on the wall in our dojo,
Yeah.
just behind him on my screen, just there as well.
Yeah.
And so that was really quite a big eye opener. It really was, to kind of go, actually, yeah. And if I'm going to do this seriously and take people's lives and say, look, I can teach you how to stay safe. It's more than just learning some techniques and just being a good fighter. There's so much more to it.
Absolutely.
So that was great, and that's kind of brought me to where I am today, really, in a very long-winded fashion. There it is.
Yeah, perfect. At what point was it then that you kind of thought, yeah, martial arts, this is what I want to really invest my time in. This is what I want to kind of do for a living, I suppose.
Yeah, like I said, I was I had my taekwondo instructor, and he had a club, and he had stuff going on, and as ever, he kind of asked the black belts to help him out, so I started helping him out. And he had a club down the road that one of the instructors had left. He said, "Do I want to run it?" So I kind of jumped in with that.
Okay.
That was failing. It was gone. I think when he first started, he put an ad in the local newspaper, and about 300 people turned up for the first class. It was just like back
Right.
in the day, spend a tenner, get
Whoa.
tons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. And times had changed. He hadn't really moved on in his marketing in any way. So the clubs kind of all joined back into the one in Cheltenham, and I was helping him with that. And I said to him one day, I said, "Look, why don't we do our own thing? We're already starting to drift away from the taekwondo as our sole thing that we were doing. I was starting to look at other stuff. He had other interests as well. And I was going, well, look, I'm keen to put time into this, right? I really enjoy this. I enjoy teaching people. I love the fact that's what I'd be doing as a living. You know, it's like it's not work. I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah.
happier than I'm on the mat, so they don't tell my kids or wife that.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, and so the opportunity came, and I was like, well, let's do this thing. Let's start our own thing. Let's kind of try and model it in our own way, what our own influences are. And then yeah, it was really good just to kind of create something and be showing people new things. I was like, yeah, this is where I'm at. This is where I need to be. You know, I had a good job. I loved my job prior to that. It was great, but you know how things align at times. And my wife said to me, "So look, I've just got this new job. You know, there's a bit of extra money for that. Now's the time. If you want
Yeah.
to do this full time and jump for it, now's the time." And I'd already spoken to various different people about it, and they said that, you know, I don't know anyone that's ever looked back.
No,
You know,
just
if
jump in
that's your
and go
passion.
for it.
I mean, pursuing a passion, right? We're only on this spinning orb for a period of time, and if you're doing
Indeed.
stuff that really don't float your boat on a day-to-day thing, it's like, what are you doing?
Why are you doing it? Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel, do I feel blessed? Or, I mean, you know, people say you're lucky or you're blessed, and it's like, well, there's a lot of hardship, hard work, and personal choices that went into getting to me here, and
Absolutely.
so I don't think it's luck necessarily. It's a path I chose, and there's always a bit of luck involved, right? Because not everything goes your way. And you know, when COVID hit, it was all a big like, oh my god, is this the end of everything, right? And as it was,
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually doubled the size of my club during, not
Right.
numbers wise, but physical space wise, because
Yeah.
the unit downstairs from the one you can see behind me, the unit downstairs became available, and I've been eyeing it up ever since I moved in upstairs. And it was COVID, and I'm like, do I do it now? This could be the most mental thing ever to do this now. And it's like, no, let's just do this. And
Yeah. Yeah.
took the plunge, took the gamble, and it paid off. So I suppose there's
Brilliant.
luck there to some extent. We haven't looked back since, really. It's just, I think, finding the means to monify or make money from a passion
Yes.
is probably one of the best things you can do.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever get to a position where you felt a little bit burnt out, or it's something that's not really talked about with in terms of passion and kind of making that step into full time, I suppose.
yeah, not with the club. No,
No.
no. As I said prior to us pressing record on this, you know, family, additional business interests and everything, you know, that's hard. That's where the burnout or the crunch comes for me. Really, it's just all those aspects of your life. As far as the club goes, it's always been, it's always just been good. It's been
Yeah.
good. The marketing worked. People turned up. They stayed. We've been lucky in so much as, you know, people have hung around, and we've not had
Yeah.
any big incidents or injuries, and the idiots seems to stay away, or if they do turn up, they disappear after about a class because they know it's not for them. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been generally good. I think the closest I might have come for burnout during for the martial arts side was during COVID and having to
Yeah.
film all those videos and
Yeah.
standing in front
Exactly.
of that camera for week 8 people. And the numbers have dwindled on the other side of the screen.
Oh
And
yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
5 kids, and you're like, right, kids,
Let's
we're gonna
go.
punch. They're gonna punch midair and kick
Yeah.
midair. And,
It's another
yeah,
fitness class.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was an interesting period of time.
It was a very
Very
interesting
much
period of
was.
time. Yeah. Hopefully never again. But we're all
Yeah,
out of it, you know. It's hopefully a distant memory now, and I think it shows as well. The ones that really persevered, uh, from my experience, and the ones that I've chatted to on the podcast and spoken to at seminars and general training, etc. The ones that really persevered with that are doing really well now, because
mm,
it's almost like that's probably, as a martial artist, one of the hardest things that you can go through as a business owner and as a martial artist, because your whole persona sometimes is based on kind of, okay, I'm a martial artist. We train, we make contacts, we we spar, we hit pads, we do this, and we do it with people. And then suddenly to have that all taken away from financially and I suppose an emotional kind of point of view as well, if that's what you've done and you've invested so much of your life doing, is really shit. So if you can come out of that and then be like, okay, well everything's open again now, we can do what we want to do, and there's no rules and regulations and restrictions in terms of that. Everything's kind of a little bit easier in terms of that, I think now.
Yeah, and I think from a business sense as well, it was ensuring you had the right structure, right? I mean, I know so many clubs went under because it was a pay as you go setup,
Yes.
which is
Yeah, yeah,
crazy. Never run a business like that. And we were quick off the mark. We didn't sit back to see what was going to happen. We were, like, we were straight out to our members going, "Hey, look, we get this. We don't know how long this is going on for, and we
same.
understand that people are going to get hit financially. So we've come up with this as an option, right? If you want to maintain your membership but can't afford it because of whatever reason, get in touch and we can do something, right? There's a holding fee for a tenner, or we'll put it to one side, blah blah blah. I lost about 25% of my members,
Yeah,
but I kept 75%.
yeah,
And
yeah.
out of
I think it's
them,
probably about the same for me. I think roughly. Yeah,
yeah, and about 20% went on a decreased amount, but the
yeah,
rest kept their money as it was. Barely anyone came on the Zoom calls relative to how many people stayed engaged with us. And I think
yeah,
it was just we just kept talking to them, and again being that family face as well. It's like it's me and my wife are the directors of the company, and my kids train there. They knew that, and we were like, look, we're keeping up our subscriptions with everybody else because if everyone just stops, the world's just going to fall to pieces, right?
sure,
So
yeah, yeah.
stay with us. Here's some value. Here's some competitions for the kids. Here's access to some videos. Blah blah blah. We put the effort in, and I think that really really helped. Um,
Yeah, and I think it shows, and people appreciate it, don't they? It was a weird, weird time, and a
yeah,
lot
I
of people
think
just kind of went, "Oh, all right, well, I won't do anything then." As you say, maybe the pay-as-you-go people that were just like, "Oh, I don't really know what to do at this point." Then fuck it, we'll do nothing. And then there's the other people that
yeah.
really went out of their way to try and put on online classes or do like activity workshops, do challenges, like you said, just try and keep everyone engaged as much as possible. Because yeah, it was
Or
just
just
fucking
show willing. I think
yeah,
a big part of that is just showing willing, isn't it? It's like that person. I'm going to pay. Of course, I'm going to pay them. They're really trying their best, and whether I engage with it or not, they're really really trying their best in this difficult time to do it. And I think that's it's kind of like honesty. I think honesty is probably one of my biggest things, really. I think when it comes to the people I like, the people I hang around with, but equally martial arts as well. I think honesty
yeah,
is just such a key thing, um, which is what I get for. I think you've got to be honest. And I said at the beginning, there's so much in the martial arts world you can get into. I used to have a
yeah,
girl who used to train with me, and she'd say, I do this Korean thing on a Tuesday." She said it has no practical ability whatsoever. I just love it, and I'm like,
fair play.
that's great,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
great, right? As long as as long as that's what it's been, it's not pretending to be anything else. I
Well,
think that's
that's
probably
it.
my
Yeah,
that's
stay
my
in your
gripe.
lane.
Yeah, it's like we said about, was it the JKD because of the practicality and usefulness? And I think to some extent, yeah, I don't care. Like, if you want to go and do kickboxing aerobic stuff, then great, but just don't pretend it's anything other than what it is,
Yes,
and, and,
100%. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and unfortunately, not want to talk about negative things, but that's kind of the
Mm,
thing I do see in the industry where I'm a bit like, don't
mm,
do that.
do
Don't do
better.
that. Like you've got people. There's clubs I know locally that have got some really good students that they love going to their clubs. They're happy to spend their money. They go there. They get fit. They've got community. Um, what they're learning's not great,
Yeah,
but as long as they're not being told it's going to keep them and their families safe, or that they're anything that they're not. I think fair play to them.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
but every now and again, I run into people and they're like, "You've been told that's what." Like, no, please don't do that. Please don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's embarrassing.
yeah,
Um, and that's kind of driven me from where I kind of the honesty of the people I train with and the instructors I have. That's really important to me. That they've either walked the walk or they've got it from somewhere they know it's been tested into some fashion, and they're not pretending. You're not saying it's anything other than what it is, right? And Mo talks about kicks and giggles, right? Today we're going to do AK-47 disarms for no other
mm.
reason than it's just fun.
Just fun.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
If you come across an AK-47,
yeah.
you need to be running, and
Yeah,
if you're not running, it's probably spitting fire at you, and you're probably dead.
yeah.
Like
But sometimes it's just a fun thing to do. Yeah,
it's just a fun thing to do, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think one of the best karate classes we ever had was that the gymnastics people had been in just before that, and they left all the sprung flooring out.
Nice. Yeah,
We
yeah.
did jump side kicks, jumping front kicks. Man, we were flying across that room. It was
Yeah.
so much fun, right? Completely useless, but it was the best class we ever had in karate, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was what it was, and it wasn't pretending to be anything else.
That's
Um,
it. Like, as you say, it's all about that honesty side of it, I think, and just, as you say, staying in that lane and going, yeah, this is what we do, but not portraying it to be something else that it isn't. Maybe giving people
yeah,
false confidence or false hope.
yeah, and it's lovely that there's that breadth, right? Because if everything was like right, every bit of martial arts has to be practical, battle tested,
Yeah,
hard, because we're doing martial arts, you'd be in it for a period of time and then you'd just be out, right?
yeah. A very quick message now, guys, from our brand new sponsors, Nest Management. Let's be honest, most of us got into martial arts to teach, not to wrestle with the spreadsheets. If you love helping students but you hate the admin, that's where Nest Management step in. They handle the boring stuff like payments, bookings, and all those little jobs that usually end with you wanting to go 3 rounds with your laptop. You focus on the teaching, they manage, they market, and they take some of the stress away. Simple. Check them out at nestmanagement.co.uk.
And I hit 50 this year, and it's like you have to adjust your training.
Mm,
Danny and Asata said every 10 years you kind of have to
got it.
adjust
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
change what you train. So I do BJJ as we said. I
yeah,
started not too long ago. I go in the morning sessions at 6 in the morning. It's the dedicated older fellas that tend to turn up to that, right?
yeah,
And we gently roll, and every now and again I drift into a class where there's some youngsters in there that want to tear my arm off, and I'm like,
yeah,
tap 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 early, right?
yeah,
And
sure.
it's fine. And I've found a little groove, and it's great. I'm learning stuff. I don't want to be the next champion of BJJ. I don't want to be doing any of that. I
Yeah,
just is a gap in my martial arts knowledge that I wanted to fill.
sure.
I didn't like the fact I'd come across people and they could armbar me better than I could armbar them. So I need to know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I found a club that I can do that at a pace and be that beginner again and be that novice again and find that joy of learning again and but at a pace I like. I think if every class was full of 19-year-olds who wanted to tear my arm off, I wouldn't be there.
Wouldn't be there for long. Yeah.
I wouldn't last.
Did you find it easy to transition back in from like coach mode to student mode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can't help yourself to some extent. You get someone coming who knows, I'm a white belt, right? So I don't know a lot more than anyone really. But, every now and again someone comes in who knows even less than I do.
Yeah.
Also having, and it wasn't that I had completely no knowledge
Yeah,
of
you're not
before.
coming from zero zero, are you? So
No. There's a few sneaky white belts in the gym that I'm in.
yeah.
You know, I'm a BJJ black belt and I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, but not a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. So therefore, I'm a white belt. I'm like, really, John? You keep
Sure,
choking me.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I didn't find it too bad. Always the student, right? I think
Yeah.
just every now and again, knowing it's not my room, I just having to step back and go, okay, I'm not going to command this room or tell people what to do. I suppose a couple of occasions I've had to shut my mouth up. Um,
That's
but
nice
it's
though,
lovely.
isn't it? Like we said before we pressed record and stuff, that's something that I like most, I think, about training. Because you can just switch off and you don't have to worry about the student numbers that night or what the academy's like or blah blah blah. You just go for that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, and you just go, right, okay, I'm just training now. Like this is purely selfish for me now. Yeah.
And mistakes happen. Like even I'm not at a level now where I don't make mistakes. I
Yeah.
don't know if I ever will be. Right, it happens.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
But when the focus is on you, got 20 odd people watching you as you're trying to do a demo, and you whack yourself for the third time in the
Yeah. Yeah.
head. So it's lovely just to get on the mats and go. I can be as rubbish as I want today. I
Yeah.
can, and it's fine. And it's yeah. That's
What
exactly what I went to. Oh, gone. Sorry.
No, it's all good. What kind of coach are you? Like, because obviously as a person, I think you're quite relaxed, you're quite chilled out. You like to bring the humour in. Does that translate across to the coaching aspect of it, or are you more of, say, the stricter coach? Are you more of a technical coach? We had David Breed on last week, who was obviously really technical in terms of the precision, but also a lovely guy. So he kind of combines those two too well. But you can see he's very much focused on the details of like where the foot placement is, where the footwork is, etc. And then you take other people that have got more of a macro look at it and just kind of want people to have fun and enjoy it and blah blah blah, blah. And then there's somewhere in the middle. So
Yeah, I'd probably say somewhere in the middle. To be fair, I mean certainly fun on the mat. So when we stepped away from Taekwondo and set up CDA, we kind of threw everything out. We
Yeah.
threw out, we threw out belts, we threw out uniforms, we threw out gradings, we threw out calling me master, sensei, seafood, God knows what. We threw
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
bowing, and then over time we just started bringing it back in again
Yeah.
because, But I've always been I'm Lee. I'm Lee.
Yeah.
You want to call me coach? You want to call me whatever? That's on you. I'm not insisting on it.
Yeah.
I'm just Lee, right? Because I'm a big believer. I think back to that honesty thing. I think you gain respect from what you demonstrate on the mats and how you are and how you treat people.
Yeah.
So I've never had to insist on people calling me anything or bowing at me or whatever. It happens. It
Yeah.
comes about. People want to do it. We've introduced a little bit of bowing because I like the fact that it starts and ends things. It's quite nice to kind of punctuate
Yeah, we
things.
have it at the start and the end, and then that's it in between. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And other than that, it's friendly handshakes and it's fun. I mean, again, as ever, it depends on the class, right? We teach 3 to 5 year olds. Detail's not so much a thing there. As long as they can turn up, listen, and have some fun,
Sure.
and we sneak some stuff on them. It's like sneaking vegetables into them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like before they know it, they can do things and like, oh, where did that come from?
Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then but I I'm a bit of a Mickey taker, so I kind of my encouragement is to take the full mick out of people when they're doing it terribly wrong, and that
Brilliant.
seems to
Yeah.
work quite nicely. You know,
Yeah. I'm listening.
what is that?
Yeah.
What even is that? Like, don't do that again.
Yeah.
True story. So I think you have to read the room, don't you? And the size of the class sometimes dictates it. But I'd like to think if people would comment on how I teach, there's enough detail in there. It's authentic in what I teach, but it's fun. It's a fun, welcoming place, and that's what I try to get as the ethos of the club. Really, I think there's belt factories out there. I think there's fight clubs out there. I think I try and pitch us somewhere in the middle where we're serious. The product's serious, but we
Yeah.
don't have to necessarily be serious to learn it.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that's what we like to have as well at Empower. I think I think you've nailed it
Yeah,
there. A serious product, but done in a fun way.
yeah, and that's a character type, right? You're the same, right? You're very amiable chap, and get on with people, and hence you're doing this sort of stuff, and people want to come and chat to you, right?
Yeah.
And that just goes across. You can't have two faces for that, can you? It's like now I've got my serious head on, and now I'm Lee. I can't do that. It's me all the way,
Yeah.
and that's why you enjoy it, right? Because I get to be me, and I love it. My daughter's always saying to me, "Dad, you should make more friends," and I'm like, I've got so many mates,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I know most of them pay me money to be there.
They're the best kind.
Yeah, exactly, right. But I do. I get to go and lunchtime today. I had a 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock task. They're not busy. There's usually there can be one person. There can be 6 people. Really not busier than that.
Yeah.
I love those classes.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely love those classes. I get to chat to people. I've got a lovely group, predominantly women. It's my self-defense lunchtime class on a Friday. But they seem to have this little staple of about 6 women that turn up, and I just love teaching it. It's
Yeah,
just
cool.
great. We have a giggle. They've got no formal knowledge whatsoever, so they're like completely blank slates, which is lovely.
Yeah.
And I get to spend some time with them. We have a laugh, and I know I'm giving them stuff that hopefully they'll never ever use.
Sure.
Hopefully it's just a kicks and giggles, and they do it on a Friday. But equally, I know it is good because it's come from top people.
Legit
you know.
sources. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't had to live a mad life and deal with this on the streets, but I know the people who gave it to me did.
Yeah. And they translate it down and then pass it on to you, and then you pass it
Yeah,
down.
and I go, okay, that's legit. That's
Yeah,
legit.
yeah. I'll trust in
The only
your
one I ever
mad
had was
life.
I taught a forearm strike to the side of the neck to a lad once, and he was one of those lads that said, "Oh, trouble always seems to find me." One of those guys, right? And he said, "That move you taught me last week, Lee," he said, "that was brilliant." I said, "Oh God."
What have you done?
This bouncer, he was giving me trouble. He had a massive neck on him, so I'd give him a whack like that.
Donk.
And he said he just went straight down. And I was like, right, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it works.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
we can tick that off.
Yeah.
But,
Absolutely. Do you coach fighters as well? Are you more of the recreational side of it, do you think? Or is there a percentage?
So I've had a couple of my black belts get to black belts, then clear off to university, and then end up running the Muay Thai clubs at the universities, and then fighting and winning every fight and stuff like that. So I know I've got some good guys that've gone off and done that. We've just started doing it. We ventured forth to other clubs about 6 or 7 years ago, and we kind of like we did a couple of interclubs,
Hmm.
and the kids all started crying,
Yeah.
and it was a bit like, oh God, right. It's like, right,
Here we go.
we're
Yeah.
coming, we're coming back in. We're shutting the doors for a while. We're
Yeah.
going to change what we do. We're going to toughen this up a little bit for those who are interested. And then we kind of ventured forth again and kind of did a couple more interclubs, and that was okay.
How
Had one of
did
my
you
lads.
find that? Because sorry, because
That's right.
we're kind of in that position at the moment. Our adults are fine, but I want to toughen my kids up a little bit. How did you go about that process? This isn't even for the podcast anymore. This is this is me stealing ideas off you.
Hey, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a hard balance, isn't it? It's a really hard
It
balance. I
is.
think in part it helps having a club that you can go. Do you know what? If a few people leave it because they don't like the way we're doing things, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice to be in that situation.
Yeah.
We just did more sparring with them.
Yeah.
Didn't take Made them go a little bit harder. Obviously controlled it.
Yeah.
Kept the headshots down to a minimum, but made them go a bit harder and gave them lots of talks about, look, you cry because you used to be a baby and couldn't do anything for yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're not a baby. Mum and dad are not here. Your tears serve no purpose.
Yeah.
Like, not there's anything wrong with crying. Crying's a great vent, and we need that in our lives. And
Yeah.
not kind of like men shouldn't cry, rah rah rah.
Sure. Yeah.
So crying has a place, but you've been hurt. There's a signal that's gone from your body to your brain, and it's telling you there's pain there, and it's asking you not to do it. But you don't need to cry anymore. And so we did quite a bit of work on that, and kind of
Yeah.
letting us know that you're safe here. No one's really going to hurt you. There's
It's okay.
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pain, and then there's injury, and those
Yeah.
are two
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of coaching along those lines, and then just stepping it up bit by bit, like just turning, like trying to sneak the volume up on the thing when mum and dad, like you
Yeah.
don't do it
Cool.
full blast, do you? Because turn that down. Just go a little
Incremental.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Suddenly they're like, what is that noise, right? So we've done a bit of that. That's helped the kids. I think they're a bit more robust now.
Right.
I also put on a few different things, so it's kind of I never wanted to extract sparring from what we did. I feel that's an absolute essential to what we do. I think, like I said, back to being honest, we're not. You can't. I don't think you can learn self-defense and martial arts without fighting someone.
Yeah.
Like there's no. You have to do that. You have to
Yeah.
face that, emotional, physical, all that stuff. So I didn't want to take that out of the classes, but what I started to do was just build little extra things where people who were really interested in it could take it to the next level, which was I didn't have that before. It was just kind of like everyone did it in class, and we said, who wants to do some fighting? Okay, and then we took them fighting, right?
Yeah.
So it was actually, it's going, right, let's have a special dedicated once a week class where they can come and do some stuff. Once a month we can do something else with them as well.
Yeah.
I put on an internal competition, so it's just within the club.
Yeah.
We called it Black and Blue, Black Team, Blue Team. We got an area sectioned off. We had a crowd. We had referees in place. We had judges in place. So it made it like a proper event.
Nice.
But they knew they were fighting.
Yeah.
So we had complete control over it. Because I've been to competitions before, and it was horrible. Kill him, kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not that kind of guy, right? I'm all up for two people going hard, but they're sportsmen, right? They're
Yeah.
doing a thing. They don't push
Testing
each other
yourself.
anyhow.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. But you didn't get that at external competitions necessarily. There were some of those who are like that, and others who just wanted to beat people up. And
Rip
I
his
was
head
like,
off. Yeah.
yeah, I'd never like that. So we've kind of been running Black and Blue for 4 years now, and then
Cool.
we're going to do it again at the end of the year. And I'm going to reach out to a few other clubs. I'm going to try and bring some other fighters in.
Cool.
So maybe I'll have a few matched fights, and then our internal guys as well for the kids. So
Nice.
piece by piece, that's how we've been doing it over the last few years.
Yeah. Perfect. How
Yeah,
about
we had one of our guys went off first competition last year, won. He did really, really well. So that was great. We've got another fight lined up for one of my black belts this year. Can't remember what the competition is now because my instructor sorted it out for me. But
Great.
yeah, so we're starting to send them out into the proper events now,
Nice.
which is great.
Yeah, fantastic. Good stuff. How about your own training then? So where's your focus now? Obviously, you said about the jiu-jitsu, and you've said about training to the black belt with Guro Bob. So
Yeah.
is that kind of taking your time up at the moment?
Yeah, so like I said, last year I spent a lot of time with Mo and his TRDG group. Did his instructor program on that, so there was only a handful of got through on that. So managed to get my instructorship under Mo, which is great.
Nice. Yeah.
Really pleased with that. As I said, this year black belt with Guro Bob. So obviously
That's
been
a big
an
one.
affiliate instructor I know. So that's
Yeah,
a big one. I want to get that ticked off. That would be great.
yeah,
So really pleased on that. And then and then the BJJ really is the other focus. Other than that, and then once that's done, I mean the BJJ's ongoing, and I started that and said I don't really care if I get a belt or whatever. And then he stuck a piece of tape on my belt, and I went, ooh,
ooh, there we go.
ooh,
Yeah,
this is nice. Can I get another one?
yeah,
So I'm probably going to stick at that while the body holds out and I'm
yeah.
doing okay and just try and get it to a level.
Any interest in
It's kind
competing in
of
that one?
no,
Just going
no,
to do it for
because
recreational.
I've heard what they talk. I've heard what they talk. They go, yeah, don't in class do it like this, but when you get to a competition, doesn't matter, just whack it on. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm not taking those injuries. I don't know. I might be convinced at some point, but
yeah,
I've got no real inkling for that. I don't. That's never really been the vibe for me. I love
yeah,
training. I love
yeah,
training. I love being with like-minded people. I love finding new things to play with. I love testing myself, but never really to that competitive. I think I'm actually very competitive, and as a result, I've always steered away from it because I'm like, I don't really want to go that deep into
Did
it.
you?
That's my
Yeah,
excuse
yeah.
anyway.
So much so. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But now I think, but once I've done that, I don't know why I just kind of consolidate, and that's what I've always struggled. It's very easy to get the kind of the new technique, the new thing, whatever. And actually, what I really want to do is consolidate everything down. And I'm always doing it with my self defense program, but just because I've got the other influences coming in, is trying to make it that it's a thing I can really own and be like, this is where it's at.
Yeah,
This is my truth. And I think I've always been so, my club's called Combined Defensive Arts. I've always had that kind of openness to kind of new things coming into the club, exploring new areas, and I very much have a mind that you don't want to kind of contain things and say that's it set. But equally, I think you can constantly pursuing, and I want to be that have that constant explorative mind. But
yeah,
I really want to boil down a truth for me, and have that. That's just got a little bit of flexibility and fluidity on the side,
yeah.
but
Cool.
really what those core things are that I think of real value.
Nice.
Um, and part of that's the kind of part of the BJJ journey for me as well. Is I
Yeah,
had enough ground game that if you come across your average Joe, I
yeah.
had a black belt, fourth degree black belt taekwondo guy, and he was training with me, and he said, "Oh, it was only me and him." He said, "I've never done any ground stuff before." I said, "Well, we can do something if you want." I said, I'm not brilliant, but I know enough to beat the average Joe, right?" And I basically sat on him for about 10 minutes while he gassed and blew out underneath me, and I really didn't like relative to what I know now. I absolutely knew nothing,
Yeah, sure.
and it was kind of like, yeah, that's a thing, right? We need to have something solid on the ground. So that's kind of the
Yeah,
BJJ journey, is to tie up my self defense stuff. So I go, right, okay, if I'm teaching this, this is a thing we need to know. These are things that can go wrong, so we just need to be tidy in these areas.
yeah,
And then we're going to have like three answers to every problem. And as long as we understand the principles around why they work, then we can deal with any other things. And that's kind of where I'm at, really, I think, for the next couple of years, is to really hone that down. I've got a program in place, but I'm always tinkering and dabbling. But I want to get it a little bit more concrete now and go, yeah, I've been enough places now, I've tested with enough people, I've had enough influence to say that is a thing,
yeah,
and that stands, right. And
yeah.
I think there are those truths amongst martial arts, and then there's all the stuff on the outside that's depending on who you are and who
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
fighting, that
Your
stuff.
own
So
attributes and things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, which are massive, right? Isn't it? I'm forever teaching people stuff to people and saying, look, this isn't going to work on him,
yeah.
but there's no, but you should still learn it.
Too big, too small, too thick, too yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But when you come across the right person, you're going to nail them with these
yeah,
techniques.
exactly.
Learn it and own it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, yeah. Well, that kind of covers the next question as well. Is what your plans are for the next year, the next 2 years. So is it mainly just that consolidation of what you're kind of doing now?
Yeah, I think like it's continuing to build my team,
Yeah,
to make myself, as I said, make myself supernumerary to the organisation, so I can step back a little bit more, and I've got other interests, part of which is my own training.
yeah,
Um, Definitely want to do that. We've got. I want to push a few fighters out there.
yeah.
That's one of the things, like I said, the black and blue event we've had, and make that a little bit bigger, and then get a few more guys out there fighting for us, which would be really good. We've just got my 10th black belt. On Saturday we've got my 10th black belt, so I'd like to get
Right. Yeah,
a
yeah,
few more over the next couple of years.
yeah.
We've got an event coming up called Endure, which would be the fourth year I've run that. It's the influence was Mo Teague's Hell Weekends. which is, yeah, it's not that.
Okay, yeah,
But it's based on that. So the idea, I spent a period of time a while back. I got into my running reasonably serious, not massively seriously, but serious enough for me. And I was very much into running. I've got beautiful hills at the back of my house. And I was
nice.
very much into running up those hills and staying fit. And it started off the back of COVID actually,
Yeah,
because we were up and down those every single day. And I was up there once going, I really want to share this with people. This is like a really, really great view up here. It's a really good cardio workout. If I can couple that with some martial arts training, that'd be a great day. And then Mo's Hell Weekend thing was like quite a bit of an influence. So I've created this event called Endure. We kind of meet up, we go for a hike up the hills, we come back, we hijacked my kickboxing class, we do an hour of that. We usually have a nice bit of food that my wife and a friend of ours prepares for us. I then get Jeff Bleefman from 4D, he's been
yeah,
down the last few years, he usually does a section. I've got Simon White, he's going to come down, he's going to do some kicks and giggles, gun disarms and
cool.
things as well, some of that going on. I've got a friend called Ian who trains in London, Muay Thai, has done for a good decade now to a high level, so he's going to come down and do some Muay Thai clinch.
Brilliant.
I'll probably do a bit of a session as well,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we head out into the hills again, and I put them into some particular area that's horrible, and we do some horrible stuff for a bit. I'm
Perfect.
in the great outdoors. Last year I was
Yeah,
doing burpees in the mud at the top of a hill, so that was quite fun.
nice. Yeah,
Um,
cool.
and then yeah, so that's a really good event. So we're really kind of trying to push that one this year. We've got about 20 people ready for it already, so it's
Brilliant.
really good.
Cool. Last bit then. So we've got our quick fire new conversation bit, if that's okay. So martial artists that you would love to spar, alive or dead.
I'd love to spar. Oh,
Yeah.
Jeff Chan,
Jeff Chan, interested. Did you see what he did with Paul the other day? Paul
Paul.
Clark. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a really creative fighter.
Yeah, he's
Him or
cool.
Sanchai?
Yeah.
Obviously
Sanjay, of
Sanchai.
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Nice. Favorite martial arts movie and why?
What's that? Sorry.
Favorite martial arts movie and why?
Favorite martial arts movie? Oh God. Um, my daughter's trying to phone me. Sorry, I'm going to have to ignore her massively.
That's okay.
Favorite
We're nearly
martial
done.
arts movie? Um, Enter the Dragon.
Why?
Just
Classic.
because, just because it's Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, right?
No other
But
explanation needed because it's Enter the Dragon.
no, it was just awesome, right? Awesome people, awesome story. Yeah, just the first one he did that actually had some decent budget behind it.
Correct. Yeah.
Great movie.
Favorite martial arts technique or concept?
Ooh, technique or concept? I I love one of Bob's things is where you disengage. So when everyone's all clued up and like this, and you just disengage and you go for a little stroll, and then you step in and just jab them with a nice stiff kick to
Bosh.
the nose. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
bosh
love
in the
doing that.
face.
It's sneaky. It's great for an old fella.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm out
it's
and
good.
I'm in.
That's one of mine.
Great.
Yeah, that
Most
or a hook
memorable.
kick.
Sorry.
That or a hook kick. Well, they can
Nice.
still do a hook today.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your
Yeah.
most memorable moment then in your career so far in martial arts?
Oh God, most memorable moment.
You know.
Probably getting a cup of concrete from Mo Teague quite recently, which is
Oh
off the
yeah,
back of his.
I've heard about this. The cup of concrete. Yeah.
Have a cup of concrete and harden the fuck up, right? So,
Yeah.
but he was down in his shed with some very ornate saucers and cups,
Yeah.
pouring concrete into them, which he's handed out to a few people. So now I've got to have a cup of concrete, which is proudly at my gym at the moment. So that was nice to receive that.
Beautiful. Nice. And last one. What would you be doing if you weren't teaching martial arts?
Oh God knows, being sad somewhere. Um, I don't know. Possibly, I'd probably be. I was before that. I was organising people, telling them what to do in my other jobs. So
No,
I'd
you still
probably
are.
doing.
Go figure.
That's it. That's it. Something along those lines.
Perfect. Fantastic. Lee, thank you so
Awesome.
much. If I don't speak to you beforehand or if I don't see you beforehand, good luck for April with Guru Bob. You'll
Thank you
have
very
to let
much.
me know what it is, as I'm looking to do mine this year as well. So you'll have to let me know how it is. And yeah, I hope to train with you soon as well, buddy.
Well, I'll see you Sunday. I will be there.
Ah, well, there you go then. So I'll definitely see you Sunday. Perfect. Cool. So we'll get some training in then, hopefully. We'll have a good chat.
Awesome.
All
Thanks so
right.
much for inviting me on.
Cheers, Lee.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thanks.